Hello and welcome to the stream. This is the second type of content you will see here in this channel. Mainly, it will be about match days and the games, how they went, or what I remember about them, if I even saw them. So, this is Orca Championship, as you can see in the title, and this is the new season, season 26. And I wanted to do a presumption stream just before the start of the season, but that did not happen. So now we will have a first match day recap, and after that a presumption part, or at least we will check the participants of 2C division, which I'm playing in. So this is our team, but let's go to the division and start with the first match day. You can see here the results of the first match day, and the first game is ours. It was Dark Stripes against Sauron Top. We are Sauron Top, the Nurgle team, and we could won that game. You can check the replay here in this channel or in my YouTube VOD channel where there will be playlist about the games I play. So, what happened against the Dark Elves? They they scored early in the first half. Um, Maybe they scored early in the first half, or I'm just remembering badly. Okay, let's check it just in a minute. Pretty. Yes, they attacked in the first half. That's true. So they scored quite early in the first half. We let them put a cage up in in the middle of our field, and we surrounded the sides and tried to stop them there with tentacles, but they could hit our players and escaped our plan and scored early. And we had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 turns, maybe five turns to counter score. And last season our counter scoring ability was very bad. I think we missed like 2 counter scores last season. So I wasn't pretty confident about uh, scoring in the first half. Moreover, because they had, I think, a wizard, so and they still had that after their score, so they had all the tools to stop us. But with some luck, we managed to counter score. You have to imagine this luck part like picking up the ball with a 4+ and dodging away with a 3+ without a reroll and without dodge and show hands because they lightning bolted our carrier and he was stunned. So so at that point we get pretty lucky and could score. We could deny the one-turner, or I don't even know if there was a one-turner attempt or just something like that, but they couldn't one-turn. Oh, of course they couldn't have because it was their first attack if that. So all in all, the first half ended in 1-1, and we could deal enough damage in the second half to win the game. So that was happened in this first game. I was pretty happy about that because last season we started with 3 draws and now we started with a win against one of the elf teams in this division because we will get back to the division, you know, the teams in the division, and there are 2 elf teams, and this was one of them, and playing against elves is always hard if they get a wizard. So this was the first game, and the second was CGTCs or something like that against Horrific Hornet Harassers, Lord Jar against Pitpad. I think the vampires, because CGTCs is a vampire team, caused uh, a lot of damage for themselves in the start of the first half. So it was looking really bad for them, and and I don't even know how many bloodlust rolls they have failed, and it was tons of armor breaks. So in the first half, the Horrific Hornet Harassers, the undead team, could easily just run through their field and sit near the touchdown zone. Um, it was easy enough that they could just hand the ball to to a ghoul they want to score on, uh, because the vampire team always try to hit them. It wasn't that easy as it sounds, but the undead team could manage to repel those actions, those tries, and they could score in the first half. And in the second half, the vampire team's luck wasn't that good either, but but after they lost all their rerolls, and I think it was like 3 or 4 turns till the end, they started to roll everything and could run away on one side of the field, and the team was stuck enough in the middle and on the other side of the field, so they couldn't stop the vampires from scoring. I think a troll scored the equalizer. He was the last scoring threat, and he needed like at least a handoff or and a dodge. So it wasn't. I don't think it was a bad play that Undead left that part of the field. It was that the vampire started to throw every dice, and their luck just concentrated on that part of the game, and it was enough to equalize. One of the deaths, both team lost a player, and one of the deaths was very important because the strength up ghoul from the undead team, I think it was a level 2 ghoul, uh, but he died. So that is very unfortunate because I think at the start of the last seasons or 2 seasons ago, a strength up white died from horrific hornet harassers, and now another strength up player is dead. So yeah, it's unlucky, and he would have made a great ball carrier. So yeah, it's not the best thing. And if we consider the fact that there are three Nurgle teams, a Chaos and a Chaos Dwarf team, waiting for this undead team, and they lost a player against vampires. It doesn't look good. So this was about this game. For us, this draw is pretty good. I think every draw is pretty good for us because this is a very balanced division in terms of team values and players. So every win will count a lot. The third game is the school leaders against the Gassy Gang, and it won't be played. The Oak coach didn't. Oh, of course, that's why I don't get a view of the game. So the Oak coach didn't reply to the scheduling thread. So I'm 90 percentage sure that the Gassy Gang will start with an admin win. Uh, I don't know if it's good or bad for them. It's good because it's a win. Uh, it's bad because they need development, and at this point they will get development on luck. So they can't choose who will get developed. They and and because it's an admin win, injury development is out of the question. So they will get, I think, a 2-1 victory, or at least when I got an admin win uh, a season or 2 seasons ago, it was like that. But the important thing is with the development wise is that they will get 11 SPP and denied all the other SVP they could have got uh, in this game. But it's good for them because we will see that the school eaters have enough mighty blow and piling on, so dodging um, a high level orc team is not the worst which could have happened with you. So I think it's a bit sad because seeing who would have win this is is, is the most important thing, and you know it's about the game, but it will be an admin win, and with this is the second Nurgle win in the round. The fourth game was the Garden of Even against Chorf Kukeri Cup, sorry, and it was Iltanir against Nate Guy, and I think there is no replay button because it was played before the official start of the season, and the replay is old enough that the client doesn't have it at this moment. So I think this is the game where even when the Chaos Dwarfs got a player advantage early enough, they couldn't capitalize on that. So this draw is better, or you know it gives good feelings for the elf coach rather than the chaos dwarf coach. At least nobody died in the game, and I don't even know. Yeah, it's kind of lot of SPP. So SPP-wise, both coach could could be happy, but I think it it leaves a bad taste in the Chaos Wolves coach mouth, if we can say that, because the game went more on their way, and the elves could counter score the second time. So they they managed to grab a draw against the Chaos Wolves. Okay, and the third game was Hornet Harassers. This is a Chaos team against BB3 Delay to 2023. That's the third Nurgle team, and as you can see, this is the third Nurgle win in the division. So the three Nurgle teams started with a win, which is nice. And uh, and somebody died from the Nurgle team, but I think it was a rotter, and maybe it was a rookie rotter, so it's not that important. I think at this point that so I watched this game, but not from the start. So what I saw is that the Nurgle won the claw fight early and could score, and in the second half they could separate the Chaos team. This Chaos team is very strange. We will see when we look at the teams. So they could separate the Chaos teams that they were one or two Beastman receiver near the touchdown line, but those Beastmen were AG3 and not the AG4 or 5 ones, and uh, and they put up a nice disturbing presence wall on the middle of the field. So it was very hard to break through with players. At that point, the Chaos team um, had limited resources, so they lost quite a lot of players. And so the Nurgle team could deny the breakthrough. And because of the disturbing presence, the the pass from the half line was still a very hard and not a good coin toss. So this way the Nurgle team could beat the Chaos team to 1-0. I think uh, I think the removal was balanced in a way, but I think the Nurgle team could remove just a tiny bit more Chaos players that it helped them to build this 1-0 result up. So this was the first match day. Now we will check the teams, and after that do some silly predictions for the second match day. Okay, so these are the teams, and we will go from up left to bottom right corner. That's good. Okay, so the first team is the Hornet Harassers, coached by Medieval, and they lost their first game against BB3 Delay to 2023. Let's see their team. It's a high TV Chaos team. It's around 1990 because they have excelled the bank limit two, with 20,000. So having three reloads is okay, and EPO is okay. This is the usual stuff after some seasons, and their important players are the AG up goats and the legendary Chaos Warriors. So this team has two claw, mighty blow guard, stand firm, tackle Chaos Warriors. They miss the piling on, but usually you want to pile on with the Beastman, so I think it's okay. And having a block guard stand firm player who can hit back with claw, mighty blow, block and tackle is very good. So I think the development wise they are good and very important. The only problem is that one of the warriors has AV8, so he will be probably blitzed, fouled, and hit most of the time, because if you play against this team, you want to remove the threats, and from these two players, he is the weaker. I think Hornet harassers, yes, yes. I think this team missed a Chaos Warrior, one of the killers from the first game, so that made the Nurgle win more easy, yeah. It made the claw fight easier for the Nurgle, and they could capitalize on that. So we can see that these two players are very important. And after that, we have a Mighty Blow, Beastman, blocks on the Chaos Warriors, that's okay. And let's see, we have a AG4 block sure hands tackle kick player. I could understand the block AG4 sure hands. Tackle and kick is strange, because if he is the designated ball carrier, he could go two heads, and yeah, mutation is not a double skill, so he could go two heads and extra arms. But it's okay, he's AG4 sure hands, so he always could be a main ball carrier. And with tackle, this team is really needs tackle and of course guard, but they don't have that much development. So I think at least I can understand the kick as well, but not on this player. It could have gone more of a retriever carrier style, but still okay with tackle. So yeah, there is a catcher here, or at least something like that, because he's an AG4, agility 4 block, nerves of steel player with double heads, so he can catch the ball in multiply tackle zones, and with AG4 and double heads, he's basically dodging with AG5. So that's cool. There is the other one is AG5 double heads block, so he can dodge with AG6. He's a cage diver at this point. So I think after two AG ups, maybe a wrestle would be good, because what are these teams? What are the weakness of this team? The weakness of this team lies on the armor value 8. So he can be removed if you are concentrating on this player. And if he's removed, you removed a killer with guard, and this team lacks guard. At this 2000 team value, you really need guard against orcs, Nurgle, undead, against everybody, because you have just 4 strength for players, and this team does not have enough guard, and it's more like some hybrid style. But we should, or I should not underestimate this team. I played against them last year, and we played a draw 1-1. And with these 3 goats with AG ups, nerves of steel, and 2 heads, they can score like elves. So if you can't remove these three gods, they can throw you with a full full pitch handoff pass play. Something like that happened against me. So while this team could lose the bash game because of the lack of guards at this level, they can just run around you or just pass. So they are still a very formidable opponent. And if the Claw Mighty Blow goes well for them, they can just diminish your players, decrease the number of your players, and will just win because they are chaos. I think this is enough about this team, and I made a prediction before the season, and I think I predicted them to be, just a moment, this is the prediction part. Yeah, around the seventh place. So I think they will be in the middle of the 10 teams, and everybody can win. So, you know, it's the start of the season, but I predicted them in the middle box. We will see how the two legendary Chaos Warriors and the three agility beastmen will carry this team because they are the important players. And if more interesting players will rise during the season. Okay, so the second team is the Garden of Even, coached by Iltanir, and this is, let's say, the first elf team, because in this aspect, uh, when we talk about the teams, this is the first elf team, this is a wood elf team, and they are really not that lucky with these missing players for the second round, and I think they lagged some players for the first round, but I couldn't really remember. So let's just concentrate on the team for now. So what is important is that they have a very well developed agility movement up Vodenser. Uh, he and the level 5 catcher is the salt of the team. They are the important players who should be protected. And the guard lineman, of course. So the other Vodenser is kind of a rookie, I think. Uh, Even joined last season or something like that. She rolled a double and now have mighty blow, but yeah, she needs more development to be fearful, harassing, or just kind of be a threat. The catcher is almost a natural one turner because he needs, I think, one more movement and a sure feet, but basically one more movement. So the problem of this, or the strength of this, it's not a problem, it's a problem for their opponents. The strength of this elf team is the tackle wardancer who can leap with 80 something percentage in a cage, and the other strength is the almost one turner catcher. I think that's all. This team needs development. So with the two guards, they can break through lines, and they can yeah put up screens. I don't know how many players they have. Yeah, it's 10. So at this point, they need a loner, and probably after the second match day, they will buy a player because the bank will exceed. So, and the original team value is, I think we have to give them 400 and a loaner 470. That means, yeah, 1780. So it's 1780, and that means that against most of the teams, they will get a wizard. And that will be important. So I think that it's not a very frustrating Woodolf team, but if they can sack the ball with the AG5 Vortenser with frenzy and tackle, and could pick up with one of the catchers or the other Vortenser and pass it away, then with a wizard they can win games. So, and basically they have 6 blotch players out of 9 and 10 elves because they're a real owner. So 6 is block dodge. That's good enough. So what are their problems? Their problems start with the first draw, and during grabbing that draw and fighting for their lives, uh, they lost 2 players for the second game, which will be against the other elves. We will see that when we talk about the games. So at this point, winning or getting another draw will be hard, and having the first 2 games is uh, going that way. I don't know how the season 4 going for them because they still had to face 3 Nurgle and one Chaos teams after the second match day, and the Oaks as well. So, and the Undead. So we will see. Uh, it's not a bad elf team, but I think they they could be countered by the best teams, but maybe the movement 9 catcher will save the day in some games. So it will be interesting to watch how they go. And I think I predicted, yeah, them in the middle, and they will definitely get a wizard. I told you that they will definitely get a wizard uh, in lots of games. So that's about it. The third team is the school leaders coached by Gilead. I don't know if they will play the first game because something went on the forum at this moment. Yep, Gilead answered. Oh, maybe the game will be played today. We will see. And that means that worst case scenario, the second game will be played and Gilead is all right, so it's cool. Uh, so let's check the team. The only orc team in this division. It has tons of god. So the orc team's strength lies in their relatively low team value, at least compared to the Nurgle teams, and there will be 3 Nurgle teams, and compared to the Chaos team, they have like 7 guards. They have all the Black Orcs. I think what they miss is substitutes. So um considering the Claw Festival in this division, having 11 players is a bit brave, but maybe they can guard trap the Claw players in every team, and if they can guard trap the Claw players, then then they can manage. They can manage. Apart from that, it's I think they have a designated killer with jump up, mighty blow, piling on tackle, juggernaut. So that's a very good player, and it has a weakness as the other killer had in the Chaos team. So it's AV8. This means that pushing the piling on button is not the most important thing, or at least when pushing the piling on button, the orc coach have to consider the phase of the next turn. So the killer is very important. There is a agility up orc blitzer, but I don't know. Maybe this orc team will play with 2 carriers. One is the thrower with block, and one is him because it has agility up and dodge. So when they want to switch carriers, he's an option. And probably if they face strip ball, the thrower is better. And if they face, I don't know, less tackle, then this dodge player could carry the ball, but the agility 4 could be used because it's a guard player as well for a mobile guard, and having a mobile guard on your team is very good. They developed the 2 stand firm players. The only I don't know. Okay, the one is a blitzer, and the second one is a pseudo. Okay, pseudo. Thank you, words. I hate you. I hope you hate me as well. So that's basically 7 movement Black Orc because of the strength up, and it has block, dodge, guard, stand firm. So he, after the killer, probably he is the second most important player in this team, and and he could put more strength in the team. And this will be, because of the stand firm, this will be very good against the other bash teams. I don't know how many stand firms in this uh, uh, are in this division. I'm pretty sure I have one, and that's the Beast of Nurgle. I'm pretty sure the other Nurgles have at least the Beast of Nurgle, but the Beast of Nurgle is unreliable compared this Strength 4 block dodge stand firm one. So he will cause havoc in the brawls, the wall-to-wall fight. So okay, let's see my prediction. So I think, yeah, I put them in the middle as well. Uh, the success of this team will uh, rely on how they could dodge the claw attacks, guard trap the claw players, and while they are doing that, removing their opponents with the only killer they have. But if somebody removes the killer, it's bad, but they still had four more mighty blows. So it's a formidable team with one dirty player as well. Okay, the fourth team is CGTC's vampire team, coached by Lord Jar. I played against him when he coached an underworld team, like 6 or 7, or I don't know how to count, 7 or 8 seasons ago. So it was a long, long time ago. This is, as far as I understand vampires, because I don't understand them, this is a good vampire team. Um, so they have a strength up vampire and agility up vampire, which is very good because, as I heard, and we could check it, hypnotic gaze is an agility roll. Yes. So so this is a very good vampire team. Almost all the vampires except the movement up rookie, half rookie because it's level 2, has block dodge, and you really want to have block dodge on your vampire teams. There is another movement event, and you really want movement on your vampires to run away your opponent. You really want agility. So it's a very good vampire team. They even have pro there. So what could be their weakness? Oh, and as I'm checking this vampire team, what I didn't check the teams before, that the Wood Elf team and even the Oak team missed Wrestle. So that could be a thing, because missing Wrestle means that your carrier blitzes are not that good. So that could make their teams harder, and even the Chaos team is missing Wrestle. So the first three teams could have hard time getting the ball because they have tackle. Sorry for the clicking all the way uh, up and down. I'm just checking. Yeah. So they have tackle except the elves because they have one. But all of the teams missed wrestle, and that could make their time hard. Which brings us to this vampire team where is a wrestle tackle troll, and that's cool. And there are some other tackles, so that's cool. And they have a block dodge guard piece. So and how many players are there? 14? Yep, 14. So it's okay. Or at least as far as I can understand this team. So their problems could be that I don't know if they want to field 5 vampires at the same time. Maybe it's not the best thing to do. So with 4 vampires, even with the strength up, they could be outguarded and outstrengthed by the bash teams. So they have to move between the defense lines against them with hypnotic gaze as their main weapon. So if those rolls goes well and they had draws for screening and moving their attack, then I think they could do well in this division. And yep, I picked them as the fourth place at the end of the season. We will see that. Okay, the fifth team is ours. This is Sar on top, and it's coached by me. And at this point, I'm pretty happy with this team composition because we have uh, a stand-firm guard. Unfortunately, Grab Beast of Nurgle. I thought that Grab will be nice against sidestep and will just enhance my full play, but after some seasons, what I see is I usually just put down the beast on players and don't hit with him. Maybe I hit too, not too much, so maybe I should hit more with him. But in the end, what I see is that break tackle would have been better than grab, uh, and I used grab once and it didn't have an impact at the end of the day. So I think one match against Skaven coach, grab looked to be nice, but the last grab wasn't enough because of a really stupid, and they still could had scored. So and apart from that, I don't really remember if I used grab efficiently. So, so I think break tackle would have been good, but stand firm guard on a Beast of Nurgle is always good. And he's one one MVP from leveling, and maybe I will roll a double because he needs block. The others are basic Nurgle warrior stuff, block guard, and I have a block dodge guard player. The problem with him is that usually because I doesn't have enough dodge. Usually the tackle players could pick him up out of the crowd and hit him with tackle. So he's more likely a block guard player than a block dodge guard player. But dodge uh, worked occasionally in the past, so I like this build. But maybe I will put him more carefully places where tackle can't reach him. And I don't think he's the star of the team, but maybe he is the star of the team, the second Beast of Nurgle. He's a movement 3, strength 5, block tentacle player, and I hope I will roll dodge on him. And if not, he will level to stand firm before guard. I'm pretty sure about that. So we have two tentacles with strength 5, and it helps a lot. So the way I play these two tentacle guys helps a lot. Basically against agility or hybrid teams, but it is very good to have him on our side, and I really like to play with him. If he dies, I don't know what will happen. Probably we will continue our run, but I really like him, and yeah, he is a very good player. And we have other two block guard. So what is important at this point is that we have four guards, which means it is a nice number of guards, but as we saw before, it is not enough against against the Oak team. So so that will be a very interesting game, but it is enough against the Chaos team, and it is well enough against the Woodolf team. And the other, it was enough against the other half team as well, who we played days ago. I don't know, some days ago. So the other, we have the I don't know, it's usual. I call it the usual Pestigor setup because we have a designated ball carrier with just a movement up, and it's not just with a very important movement up because I think that movement up saved our ass a lot. But he, apart from the movement up, is just four normal rolls and he's a ball carrier retriever with sure hands, extra arms, two heads, and block. We have a killer now with Mighty Blow. So what is happy about this season that we started it with a Mighty Blow, and the Mighty Blow, our Mighty Blow player survived the first game. So we have a block tackle Mighty Blow player, and last season we grabbed a tackle on the wrestle player, so we have a wrestle tackle player, which means we have uh, an agility hunter, that's the block tackle Mighty Blow. We have a sacker, that's the wrestle tackle dodge player. Dodge on him is very good because he can maintain his reroll for the hit with this dodge, and it happened uh, enough times that the plus 10k is good for him. And after the first game, we developed Claw. I won't say this is our first Claw because this is our second Claw, but the first Claw uh, damaged himself after getting, or at the same time as getting Claw, and he was fired because that was a level 2 Pestigore with Claw and Agility Bust. And I think dodging away uh, from your victim if you roll a boat down is very important, and having a naked Claw with Agility Bust is not good. So I fired him after he leveled, and now we have a Mighty Blow Claw player. He leveled up after the first game. So this is what I'm very happy about, because without him, it would be very hard against all the armor value 9 teams. And as we saw, the Chaos team has 2 Claw, Mighty Blow players. The Orcs have 4 or 5 Mighty Blows and the Mighty Blow piling on. So we have basically 3 Mighty Blows, but the beast doesn't matter. So basically we have 2 Mighty Blows and the Claw on one of them. So it was very important to for removals and to put up a fight. And we missed this kind of player uh, in our games until this point. So, and fortunately, we have a dirty player as well with Wrestle. This means that from this point, because he leveled last game, we can put him on the line of skirmish because he has Wrestle. On defense, of course, because you don't want to put him on the line of skirmish on attacks. So this is our team. I think it's well made, it's okay, and we will see how our tentacles work, and we will see how we can remove other players, but at least we have removal power now with the 2 Mighty Blow and the Claw. We have tackle. We missed 2 tackles for a lot of games. We even have 2 wrestle now with the dirty player having wrestle. So I think it's cool. It's cool. We have chances. We will see how it goes. And we have rotters. My rotters usually damage themselves or just die, so they are underdeveloped, but it's not bad because we want development on the other players. So this is cool. Now comes Horrific Hornet Harassers and coached by Pitbud, and this is the Undead team. I played against this team last season, and we drawed because last season was a draw season for us. And I think so. Let's see what's good about this team. Three dirty players at this level is very good, because and two have block as well. So having blocks and dirty players at this level, this much block and dirty play is very good. But this team also miss wrestle, which could harm their effectiveness. So I think that the third dirty player should get wrestle, and at least one ghoul should get visceral, I, because why not? I understand, or at least I don't know. So, so they have 4 guards. Oh no, 6 guards because 2 ghouls have guards. I can't see. Okay, so they have 6 guards, which is very good uh, in this division. But they have a strength up skeleton, so they can put up a fight against the other strength teams if the mummies won't get removed. And that's very important that the mummies don't have block at this point, so they could be removed. And if they are removed, then it will be very hard for this undead team because, uh, yeah, because it will be very hard. They have 3 block dodge players, so it's okay. 2 of them has guards and 1 side step, so it's okay. They have some tacos, which is good. Uh, so I think from the best teams, as far as we got here, I don't know if this team is the weakest, but because I wouldn't say that. It just they have guards, which is very good. They have strength, but their strength players are vulnerable without block, and uh, and um, and yeah, and that's all. But at least the mummies have stand firm. So I think Lot will rest how the mummies survive the bash game. And if they can remove players with dirty players while the mummies are surviving, then they can have a very good season. Again, removing the ball will be hard without wrestle, but they can fix that if they are good enough. And this is where we get to the point that the strength up ghoul died last game. He would have made a good sacker if he gets wrestle or carrier, but they had a carrier with block and show hands, so I don't know. Yeah, we will see how this goes. Okay, and this is the Gassy Gang, coached by Dreamland Gaming, and this is the second Nurgle team in the division. And I watched some games from Dreamland. What we can say about this team is that it's under development. Uh, I think last seasons and 2 seasons ago, so in the last 2 seasons, uh, lots of players died, really a lot. So they have uh, a good Beast of Nurgle. It means it has guard and stand firm. They have a good Nurgle warrior, like mine, a block dodge guard, and it has the same problems as ours, that there isn't too many dodge on this team, so he can be picked up. But because this team has a block and 2 rookie Nurgle warriors, then probably nobody will attack this block dodge Nurgle warrior because they will attack the others. So there is the first problem of this team, and makes hard for them to win or to play, is that there are, there are 3 underdeveloped Nurgle warriors, and putting up the boss fight with them will be hard. And what could help them is the Pestigos. because this team has a strength up Pestigor and this team with Claw and Mighty Blow and Tackle and Block, of course, and another Claw Mighty Blow block Pestigor without any funny stuff. So if they can kill the opponent's guard, block, etc. players before they reach the Nurgle warriors, then this team can win, but they will have a hard time. And they have a sacker, which is very good. So so again, a team where there is this is the third team where there is a wrestle tackle player. That's good. Your sacker doesn't really need more. Uh, maybe a strip ball, but at this point, it's just that's just fancy stuff. You need a wrestle tackle player on every team. So yeah, and they have a very funny ball carrier. They call Propane the super rotor because it rolled an agility up, a dodge that's double for them, and now have block, sure hands, and two heads. So basically, it can, I think, running through the field is a strong, too strong statement for a movement five, but he can slowly grinding up the field with block dodge, but the strength 2 doesn't help him. So in this division, maybe he will be killed, and I don't know if that will help the team. So they can, because that will mean that they will have an agility 3 ball carrier and a naked one, because I don't think they want to carry the ball on on one of the killers because they need the killers to kill and to harass all sides of the field. So I think the problem with this ball carrier and the problem with the development of the team, and this is because they are losing players again and again, that if they lose this super rotor, and that's a possibility with armor 7 and yep, not niggling, but with armor 7, strength 2, is that after that they won't have a ball carrier. So I think this team will have a hard time because of the lack of guard, 3 guards, a lack of block on Nurgle warriors, and but they could, surprise any opponent, more or less the best ones, but maybe even the elves, but more or less the best ones. But there are enough best teams for them, so they could surprise the best teams with the two Claw Mighty Blow Pestigors. And because one is strength 4, he can blitz with strength 5. So that will coax even the big guys, the Beast of Nurgles, the mummies, uh, poor mummies. So the mummies problems. And basically, if we consider this level up a normal level, they are at 1850. So the best teams are really close to each other at this point, and even the vampire team as well. And just the chaos team. Okay, my team is high, almost as high as the chaos, but it's still under 2000. But they are close enough that the best teams probably will give each other a bribe, which should not be underestimated with dirty players. But but yeah. So let's check Chorf Cookery Club. They drew their first game against the Wood Elf, and they are coached by Nate Guy, 75. And it's a Chorf team, thank you. So so they have 12 players, Yes, 12 players, and I think the most important, they have wrestle without tackle, but at least they have a wrestle hobgoblin. They have a nice movement up, sure hands dodge carrier. Unfortunately, with kickoff return, I mean, kickoff return is very good, but I think a block dodge, sure hands movement up hobgoblin would have been better, but probably he will be there in some games. So, so let's see what's the problem here. And the problem, they have the similar problem as the second Nurgle team. They have two rookie Chaos Dwarf blockers. They are good out of the box because they are cheap and have block and tackle, but they don't have guard. And there's another one without guard, and the killer is without guard as well, but that's forgivable. This means that this team can be outguarded by the other Bash teams except the second Nurgle team. But they still can outstrength it because Chaos Dwarfs are strength 3 while Nurgle teams have strength 5 and strength 4 players. So with enough how should I put it? With enough plans or good plans, enough well movements, yeah, maybe that's the good way to put it. with with well planned movements, this team could be outguarded, and even the second Nurgle team could outguard them. So they will really, this Chaos Dwarf team will really rely upon the jump up jump up claw mighty blow piling on grab killer. I think almost every blitz will be from this player, and if the opponent can survive that or can guard block him, then the opponent will have a very good chance to beat this team. Uh, Both of the bull centers have block and break tackle. This is very good, and this block dodge break tackle sidestep bull center uh, is a funny piece, so it can cause problems to the opponent. And there is another stand firm here, so a stand firm guard is always welcome. But so I think the problem with this team is that it's it needs more guard. If they had 3 more guards and 2 more stand firms, it would be a nightmare, and that would be just 100 uh, more team value, and I think they missed that. And I don't know if I don't know if the inducement money they will get from missing these skills at this point will help them enough, because having a wizard on a chorf team without agility up is not that good really, and they can't expose the ball carrier to pick up the ball in tight spaces, because he, even with dodge at this point, because the opponent will have tackle and mighty blow and probably claw and piling on. Of course, claw doesn't help on AV7, but mighty blow and piling on will remove him easily. So I think this team, as well as the second Norgul team and maybe the under team, is beatable, is more beatable than the others, but we will see how the dice rolls. And yeah, this is very important that this team also has a claw, mighty blow piling on. This means if this guy can remove enough important players uh, in the first quarter of the game, then they could win. And this is also true for the second Norgu team. So with claw, mighty blow, and here piling on, um, Even if your team is underdeveloped, you can cause really big problems to your opponent just with some good dice rolls. But yeah, this team and the second Nurgle team will have a hard time against the other Bash teams because the lack of the guard. Okay, and we will reach the biggest team value team in the division, and this is the third Nurgle team, BB3 delayed to 2023, coached by Balls to the Walla, and they won their first game, and it's an okay Nurgle team. Why could we say that, or yeah, why could we say that? They have 4 guards as our Nurgle team. Uh, the Beast is the usual guard stand firm. The other Nurgle warriors have block guard. They have some more mighty blows than the others. So this team has enough mighty blow, has mighty blow claw, even have tackle on the killer. So oh, and lots of wrestle. So they basically could have a wrestle loss line of sight. So what do they lack? I don't know. I don't know what do they lack. Oh, and they have a very good carrier, a strength up block, agility up carrier, and he just needs, I don't know, 2 heads to be very annoying, or dodge. More like dodge. He needs dodge to be very annoying. So I think it's a pretty solid team. I predicted them to be the first of the division. And yeah, they have guards, they have strength, they have removal power, they even have enough wrestle, so you can't cherry pick the sacker. I think the weakness lies maybe in tackle power. So if there were more elf teams in this division, one tackle would have been problematic, but because this division uh, has just 2 elves and an undead team with 4 dodge, I don't think anybody has more dodge than from the bush. Okay, this is the wood elf team. Yeah, it's 2. Oh, sorry, the vampires. Yeah, they count as elves in this comparison. Yeah, we have 2. This is a 4 dodge because of the ghouls. It was maybe 2. Yeah, 1. Oh, 2. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't know. So this team will have maybe problems against the elf teams and the vampires, but they can. So this one tackle could be enough against the other teams. Maybe not against the undead, because maybe four dodge and I think 3 was block dodge from the ghouls. Yeah, so they that could be also hard, but yeah. So the performance of this Nurgle team will rely, of course, on the kills, on the removals from the claw players. But I think yeah, this is a solid team. So if they and how many players they have? 13? No, 14. 14. Yeah. So I think they can. Escape the guard blocks because of the 4 guards. They can remove players. They can carry the ball. They have wrestle. It's a solid team. They can win the division. And they are just 2020. Sorry, because of the exceeded bank. So they are close to the others. Maybe they will give away bribes. Probably most of the time, not against me, but most of the time they will give away bribes, and that could lead to problems because one of the killers does not have claw, so they can do some development there. But yeah, it's a solid team. It's a very good team. I mean, it's a solid team with a very good ball carrier, yeah. And our last team in this division is the Dark Elves, and they missed their level 3 Witch Elf in the first game, and now because I injured Lamair, a blitzer, they will miss a blitzer in the second game. But apart from that, it's a solid Dark Elf team, which means that they have wrestle, they have 6 block dodge players, they have a mobile guard, they have an agility strength up uh, blitzer, they have tackle. Will miss one against the other elves, but they have kick. So I think it's a solid team, good enough to win games, but not special enough. So their season will rely on how well they can capitalize on the wizard, because they have like 1790 team value if they are fielding the whole team, and 1790 is and the wizard is 1940. So it could be a wizard again against some teams, basically half of the division, and that's true for the Wood Elves. So I think both elf teams' season relies on how well they capitalize on the wizard they get on those games, and they have a wizard. And they have two sidestep players, and sidestep players are very irritating. Oh, and the leader comes with +1 reroll, and that's very good. So having 4 reroll is very good on this team, because they can it can make the riskier plays better, and the coach could be, oh yeah, and this is Dark Stripes coached by Rezon. I think I missed the introduction, sorry. This is Dark Stripes coached by Rezon, the second elf team, and this is very solid, and I think I put them uh, at the bottom of my prediction, because one elf team will I always predict that one elf team will explode, and I always just pick one. I don't because you know you can't really predict which elf team will explode, but I always think that one will. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not. Reason I think everybody in this division is a good coach, so at this point, so we will see how they go, but they really need tackle on one of the wrestle players, but apart from that, maybe some guards or some agility ups would help them, because this Dark Elf team is solid, but their weakness is that they are just solid, but they don't have exceptional players like the 9 movement catcher, or okay, they have one exceptional players, it's strength up, agility up, but yeah, they can cage dive with him, but he is not a sacker. He is more like a hitter. And they miss Mighty Blow, and this is very important. So while the other elf team has Mighty Blow, this team doesn't have Mighty Blow. So removals will be hard, and if they can't outrun or outdodge their opponents in this division, this Dark Elf team could have had problems without removal power. So this is our division. We have a Chaos team, a Wood Elf team, an Orc team, a Vampire team, 3 Nurgle teams, an Undead, a Chaos Wolf, and a Dark Elf team. And after we saw the first match day, let's check the second. So the second match day starts with the Garden of Even against Stripes. So it's the Wood Elf team against the Dark Elf team. So especially for this round, which is what will happen this, or I don't know what will happen, but how the teams are at this point. The Wood Elves have 8 players, so there will be 3 loner linemen. That's 210 team value, which will take them to 1520 against 1650, which means 130 inducement money, and with maximum bank it means a wizard. So one of the elf teams will have a wizard. I don't think they want to push more money into this game because anything can happen, and I don't know. Yeah, so I don't think that a bribe will have them. Maybe they can push a bribe, but that will take another 50 bank money, 50k bank money, which would mean that they had like 80 remaining. Maybe they can push a bribe, but I don't know if they want to push a. So I don't know if they want to push a bribe against a mighty blow less, piling on less dark elf team. I don't think so. They want to gather their money for the harder games, or save their money for the harder games. So the Wood Elf will have a wizard, and that will be their biggest threat, because they will miss the AG5 leap player. So cage diving, I don't think it will be a thing. Maybe the biggest, it's not the biggest. Okay, so the biggest threat could be this Mighty Blow War Dancer. So maybe they will quick score and try to remove Dark Elves, because the Dark Elves will have one substitute. I don't know. So it will be a hard game for the Wood Elves, and this one turner could save the day. And of course, 2 guards will have to break through the lines, and the strength up will have to break through the lines. But probably I wouldn't. So I don't think they want to use the strength up lineman with 1 in 9 failure chance to break the lines, but that's an option. But I think the block lineman or the block war dancer is better to push to break through, and because the war dancer have mighty blow, and then just rush through the field with the other players. But we will see how it goes. Why the dark elves are solid? They can believe in their armor 8. They have wrestle, so they can take the ball. They have 2 tackles, and I think the Wood Elf, sorry for clicking, yeah, the Wood Elf will miss their tackle. So while the Wood Elf will have a wizard and will have mighty blow, they won't have wrestle and tackle, while those options are available for the Dark Elves. Uh, so I think with with 5 block dodge here, and how many will be there? 3, 4 block dodge on the other side. Uh, the Dark Elf will be, so could deal better with against dodge. We will see, because the Dark Elf doesn't really have a designated ball carrier, or at least they have a runner, but that's not a designated ball carrier against a leap player, even if leaps are 66 percentage. You don't want to pick the ball up with him. So yeah, it will be an interesting matchup, and I think the matchup favors at this point the Dark Elves because of the agility up, the strength up, and the tackles and the wrestle, and the Wood Elves has to believe in their one-turner attempts, their quick scoring, and the Wizard. So it will be interesting. So the second game on the second match day will be the School Eaters, that's the Oak team, against Hornet Harassers, which is the Chaos team. And I think this matchup, the the Oak team has 11 players, the Chaos has more, so this matchup will be decided by Claw and the Guards. So if the, of course, so if the Orc team could outguard the two killers and and remove them, one of them is AV8, then it could snowball because the orcs have lots of mighty blow on their sides. Like, I don't know how many, but a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not a lot, but 5. Enough. Enough. 5 is enough. So if they can remove the weaker killer, they could have a good game because they have lots of guard. Uh, but on the other hand, if if the Chaos team could remove the killer from the Orc team with the piling on, they could survive the other mighty blow hits, and and we should not forget that they have agility up goats. So basically, uh, it will be a very interesting game. How the Chaos will decide to play it, because with these agility ups, they could just screen off their plays or dodge away, and maybe they will just fight against the orcs in designated places. I mean, in places where they decide to fight them. But I think this matchup favors the Orcs a bit, but just a bit. But it could be easily turned over because the Orcs does not have substitutes, while the Chaos has those kind of players. So, and that means that even the Orcs will get inducement money, like 120. Yes, but and they could have a bribe. Probably they will have a bribe, but they don't have more players. So and the Chaos have lots of players, so they could just foul because they have the player advantage. So I think this game will be decided by the Orcs guard blocks and the Chaos elfiness and uh, and while maintaining some removing threat against uh, against the Orcs. Both team doesn't really have a good sacker, so there is a tackle player, but not a good sacker. But in the Orc roster there isn't a wrestle either. There is a dodge player. So yeah, it will be an interesting matchup. I think it favors a bit more the Orcs, but if Claw Mighty Blow gets hits and my Naked Mighty Blow and Mighty Blow playing on won't, and the Orcs could not stop the killers with guard blocks, then it will be a very hard matchup for dogs. So maybe it could be a draw. Yeah, maybe it will be a draw. Okay, the third game is the vampire team against the BB3 delay to 2023, and that's an Urgu team, the biggest team value, and I think this will be a hard one for the Nurgle. If because they lack agility, so hypnotic gaze will be a very important tool against Nurgle, and the vampires have strength 4, so the tentacles is not that good against them. The tentacles is better against the trolls. So I think this will be a very hard game for the Nurgle team. They will give away a bribe as well, and this vampire team has strength. The Nurgle team has guard lock and killers. So yeah, if the Nurgle team could remove vampires with tackle, then they can control the field, and one killer has tackle. So getting back to the first part of the sentence, so the biggest threat against the vampires is the Claw Mighty Blow piling on tackle player. If the vampires can isolate him and or fall him and or kill him or just push uh, one side of the field where there are unimportant players, then the Nurgle team will have a hard time. If they can't do that and this killer can remove vampires one by one, then the vampires will have problems. But I think this matchup will be hard for the Nurgle, even if they have 4 wrestle players and a dirty player and 4 mighty blows, 2 with tackle, because they lack tackle and this vampire team is full of block dodge players. Alright, let's see, there is like 4. And of course, the vampire team's problem will be the guard lock, because be, probably they will just run away. So I don't think the vampire team will stay in one place or put up a fight against the Nurgle wall. Probably the vampire team will run around with the AG4 and 5 vampires, and they can do that because 4 of them out of 5 has dodge, and the Nurgle team doesn't have tackle. So those rolls will be 35 to 36. Uh, so yeah, it will be a hard game for the Nurgle, and the vampire team even will have a bribe probably, or they can scam a bribe because this is 2020. Yeah, they will have a bribe. Okay, and the fourth game is us, Sar on top against Chorf Cookery Club, the Chaos Dwarfs, and I think uh, this will be, this could be, I won't say it will be, it could be the easier ones against the Bash opponents, because the Chaos Dwarf team, as we talked about it before, lack guard, and even they have 4 mighty blow, they have just 1 killer. So if I can, what I can say the same thing what I said in the Vampire Nurgle matchup, that if I can isolate the killer, and isolating a movement for killer is a bit easier, not that easy because probably the Chaos Dwarfs will be in a block, but without enough guard, I could just guard block them. So the break tackles will play a big role probably because of them it will be hard to uh, mark the bull centaurs with rotters, so they will be one even have a dodge, one bull centaur, so they will remain mobile enough. But if I can guard block their kill power and hit them back with my claw player, and they have, oh God, sorry, yeah. So if I can hit them back with my claw player, then the Chaos Dwarf team could have a hard matchup, and their inducement options are not that good. So if it was an elf team and they could have had a wizard and something more, it would be good. At this point, I think they will induce. They will have 260k inducement money. It will be probably a bribe and probably a dirty player hobgoblin, another one, because they don't have bench. I'm just checking. Yeah, they don't have bench. So with I think 120, and yeah, so they can have a bribe, a DP hobgoblin, and even they can scam for 10k a Bloodvisor babe. Maybe that's the best. I checked and there are no really good star players for 260. So I think that will be the play there. And if they can follow us with bribe, they are good. If no, then they could have a hard time because of the lack of guards. And one guard is on the Bull Centaurs, and I don't really know if they want to put him in the wall. They have break tackle, or he has break tackle, but putting Bull Centaurs in the wall uh, is very a ri- is a risky play because you can lose them, and if you lose them, your mobility just diminishes. Okay, so I think this matchup favors me a bit. Uh, so to check, I think the first matchup is better for the Dark Elves at this point. The second could be a draw. It will be very interesting how. I mean, all of the games will be very interesting, but the second is is a very even matchup. The third will be very interesting because we need to see how the different teams can capitalize on their different strengths. And I think the fourth favors me a bit, but because both teams have Claw, Mighty Blow, and the Chaos Dwarfs has even piling on that player, anything can happen. Okay, and the last matchup in the match day 2 from this division is the Undead team against the Nurgle team. I will consider this state as the okay state, or I mean this state as the playing state. However, I will check the forum. Okay. Nothing interesting. So I will work with these states. And that team played their game. So I think this is a matchup where the 6 guard, 2 on the goose, on the end that can help very big against the the Nurgle team, because this is the weakest Nurgle team, and the Undeads have enough tackle against the carrier Lotter. So let's see how many inducements will the Nurgle team get. We said it's 60, and if the game does not play, then it's 1850 against. Yeah, that will be a scammed bribe from the Nurgle side probably. And yeah, it means that so the Undead team has a lot of players, really a lot. Uh, so removing the zombies is not the play here. Removing the important zombies uh, could be a play here, meaning the dirty players, but it will be hard because there are three of them. So I think what the Nurgle team can go with or play with is trying to remove the blockless mummies, because because the Nurgle team has two claw mighty blow players. Even if one is naked, the other is probably not. And if they can remove the mummies, then it will make their play or chance. Oh, both killer Pestigor has block. Yeah, so that's the play probably. And if they do that, they will have a chance. But if the mummy is protected enough and the other parts of the Nurgle team is guard blocked, then it will be a hard game for the Nurgle. So I will go with the Undead win. I think it will be a very hard game for the Nurgle. And this is match day 2, and this was the recap of match day 1, the predictions for match day 2, or at least uh, checking the teams and seeing what could happen. So thanks for watching, and basically have a good night. Um, these kind of streams will stick at least in the Orca Cola Championship, because uh, usually I check these games, so I can talk a bit about them in this division. So it is very important that I want to do more divisions from Orca Cola Championship, or in other tiers, or in this tier. I will do just this division 2C because I'm in this and I check these games more oftenly. And maybe there will be content like this from other competitions, but those competitions will start later. Uh, I'm talking about Reddit Eternal Blood Bowl League majors, because I don't think that I will do recaps from match days for the clan season, or I won't do recaps for the beer league. Uh, but maybe I will do some recaps for majors, but that will start, I think, in a month or in 2 months, something like that, for maybe in a month. So that's later in the future. But I will be back here for recaps for the match days and predictions for the future match days every week. I don't know if what will be the schedule for that. One option is that I will do this after the actual match day is finished, but that will leave me doing this podcast or content uh, on Tuesdays because Orca Cola Championship has a Tuesday rollover time for the match days, and it will be later in than now. And this is an earlier podcast, but usually it will be later, and that's one option. And the other is if the uh, competitioners, so the participants, finish their match day on the weekend, I can do the recap at that time, but I don't think that will be the case. There is always somebody who can't play, and it includes me in some cases. So I think this type of content will be available on Tuesdays, and I will put it in the schedule thread in my Discord server. So if you want to check when I play or when will be these kind of recaps, you can check the schedule on the Discord server in the schedule channel. Usually I update it as early as possible, and that's a weekly schedule. So thanks for watching and have a good night.